students, these are the notes for Unit 10, Day 2. You are going to need your calculator and you're going to need your notes. And on your notes, you will see this right here. Just to let you know, I will be stamping the video notes from the vocab right here. And then these notes will have the stamp right here. So this will serve as your Day 1 and your Day 2 stamp that you will turn in. Can you please go ahead and write your name right here? So that when we turn in your notes, this page is on top and I have your name. You might want to have a highlighter too, just in case we use it. Now, on our calculators, today we're looking at area and circumference, and you are going to need the pi key. Okay, so your pi key is right here. When you hit it, it shows pi. If you hit enter, it is calculating 3.141592654 and goes on forever. So we are not rounding and using 3.14 because technically, yes, you do get the right answer, but we want to use the pi key in our calculations. On the graphing calculator, the pi key is a second key. It is right here above the rooftop key. So to get the second key, you will have to hit second and hit the rooftop. Pi comes up just like it did on the other one, and we get our pi calculation. So when you're using this key, if I do 3 pi, it's doing 3 times pi. You don't have to hit the times key, and so on. Okay? All right, so let's write our formulas. The the area formula and the circumference formula. Okay, if we're talking about a pizza, okay, let's talk about pizza. So the area formula is like the whole pizza. How many square units, inches, centimeters would it take to calculate the area of this circle, including everything inside? The circumference is like the crust. So the circumference is just the crust. It's like the perimeter of any shape, but we don't call it perimeter on a circle because there's no edges. It's just a curve. So we call it circumference. All right, you are responsible for knowing these formulas. So area equals pi r squared. The way you write pi is you put the 2 lines and then you do this little squiggly thing. And then the circumference, capital C. Circumference is pi times diameter. Sometimes you will see people say 2 pi r. 2 radiuses, 2 radii make up a diameter, so that's the same thing as this. I like to use this one over this one, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so we have these crossed out. We are going to do these 4. I'll do 2 of them, and then you will do 2 of them for me for the questions. Okay, so find the area and circumference for both of these. This is exactly what your worksheet will look like. All right, area formula, pi r squared. I do need you to set up the problem, and then all of the work is in your calculator. So remember, radius is half the diameter, so my radius is 12. So we're going to put 12 squared, and you're going to put it in your calculator just like that. So when I'm putting it in my calculator, I'm saying pi 12 and squared. Just like that. And you can put times if you want to. It doesn't matter. It's going to be the same thing. Let's, for area and circumference, let's round to 2 decimal places. 452.39. 452.39. And let's be mathematically correct. We had meters, so area is a squared unit, so it would be meters squared. All right, circumference is pi times diameter, or 2 pi r, because that's that's what I'm getting ready to do. If my radius is 12, what is my diameter? That means my diameter has to be 24. So it's going to be pi times 24. And you can put the pi first, or you can put the 24 first. It does not matter. 75.40. 75.40. You can leave off the 0. And then circumference is not squared. All right, number 2. So area pi r squared. Do we have to write the formula every time? No, but guess what? If you write the formula every time you do your problem, you're going to memorize it. All right, pi r squared. So what is my radius? 9. So it's going to be pi times 9 squared. Looks like that in the calculator. And we get 254.47. Guys, at this point, you're going to be rounding correctly. You're going to lose points. 254.47, excuse me. And that would be inches squared. Yes, I want you to put that because I know you're going to ask me. All right, circumference is pi times diameter. And so circumference is pi times 18. Put that in the calculator. Pi times 18 or 18 times pi, it doesn't matter. 56.55. 56.55 inches. Okay, I want you to do number 3, both of these, and number 4, both of these. And when I come back, I will ask you some questions about them. Make sure you have them done so that you can answer the questions. Okay, did you get question number 3 correct? Now I'm going to ask you a question about number 4. Okay, did you get question number 4 correct? If you have any questions, please see me in class and I will answer your questions about that. Okay, let's move on down to the bottom. Yes, these are word problems, but it's the same thing that we're doing. But we're going to be finding a missing piece of the formula. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what you have to do, and you need to follow what I'm telling you to do. All right. Whatever the question gives you in the problem is what formula you need to write down. So it says find the diameter of a circle with a circumference. So we are looking for these words in the problem. Okay. Find the diameter of a circle with a circumference of 65.97 meters. Now, what this means is we're going to write down the circumference formula. Okay. This is the circumference. So 65.97 goes here. What do I need to do to get the D by itself? Because it's asking me for the diameter. What do I need to do to get the D by itself? All we have to do is divide by pi. Divide by pi. We're going to put that in our calculator, and we're going to get the answer for the diameter, which is what we were trying to find. So when I put 65.97 divided by, use your pi key. Now, this worksheet, the person who made this worksheet is amazing, and they are going to give us numbers that are going to come out to really nice numbers. So notice that rounds that up to a 0, which rounds that up to a 0, which rounds that up to a 21. This is closer to 21, so we're going to put 21. You're going to see that a lot on this worksheet. So D equals 21 meters. Okay, the next one. They give us the circumference. So that's the formula that we're going to start with. Circumference equals pi times diameter. What are we finding this time? Guys, look. Pay attention to the question. We're going to end up with the radius, so we're going to have one more step than what I have over here. So we're going to put 21.99 here. Again, we're going to divide by pi. And we're going to get 7. See it? Okay. If my diameter is 7, what is my radius? Because the question is asking us for the radius. The radius would be 3.5. Okay, go ahead and flip over. All right, so let's jump to number 12. All right, don't cross this one out yet. Find the radius of a circle with an area of 380.13 square inches. So I need to start with the area formula. Whatever they give you in the problem is the formula that you're going to start with. So this goes here. All right, well, this time we need to get the r by itself. It is asking us to find the radius. So I'm going to divide by pi, and then I have one extra step. So divide by pi. It is important that you write all of this down. Okay, if I divide by pi, we're going to put this in our calculator. The person who made this worksheet is amazing. That's going to be 121. They're making it easy on you. If it doesn't come out, you're going to write 2 decimal places. But if it comes out to where it's rounding up to a whole number, put the whole number. Okay, so this is r squared equals 121. How do I find r? You take the square root. And 121 happens to be a perfect square, so the radius is 11. What would the diameter be if I asked you to find the diameter? Diameter would be 22. Okay. All right, let's go to number 13. So they're giving us the area. So we're going to use the area formula. All right, 615.75 goes here. And we're going to do the same thing that we did up there. Pay attention to what we're looking for. Okay, so we're going to divide by pi. .75 divided by pi. There we go again, 196. So r squared equals 196. I bet 196 is a perfect square. I don't have that one memorized. 14. Okay, so square root of 196 is 14. So r equals 14. Am I finished? No, not finished because it's asking me for the diameter. If it helps you, draw a picture. This is a radius. So I double it to get the diameter. So the diameter is 28. Okay, you are going to do number 11 and number 14. Pay attention to what it's asking. Oh, wait, no, you can't do 14 yet. No, do this. Do number 11, and I'll ask you a question, and then we'll go back and do 14 together. Do number 11 right now. No, don't do number 11. I'm so sorry. I have to do these two with you because look, I haven't shown you what to do with these, although it's really, really easy. So how about I do number 11 and then we'll see if you can do 14 based on what I show you with number 11. Which formula are we going to start with? The circumference. Circumference is pi times diameter. All right, this time, instead of making it a decimal answer, they left the pi in pi units. So we're going to put 35 pi over here. When they leave the pi in the problem, it actually makes your work easier. Because what happens now if I divide both sides by pi? Because I still need to get the d by itself. Well, when I divide by pi, and I divide by pi on both sides, it actually cancels out. There's no calculator work, okay, and I get d equals 35, and I want the radius. So if the diameter is 35, then we cut that in half. And we get 17.5 yards. We should have had centimeters here, and we should have had inches here. Okay. So see what I did? When the pi is there, you just cancel it out. You're going to do the same thing for this one. Now, try number 14 by yourself. All right, let's see if you got it right. Okay, hopefully you took it all the way out to this answer. If you left it at that answer, you missed it. Okay, remember to pay attention to what's in the problem. So these are the steps that we covered. Wrote down my formula. Put the 90.25 pi into the problem. You don't have to show divide by pi, divide by pi. Just know that they're going to, anytime in math you have the same thing on left and right, you cancel it out. Gone. when it's multiplied or when it's added or subtracted. If it's the same thing on the left and right, you can just cross it out. And so that leaves 90.25 equals r squared. So to undo r squared, we take the square root of this. This time it doesn't come out to where it rounds to a whole number, so you do need to give me the 9.5. And that is the radius, so you double it to get the diameter. Okay. All right, the last questions are just adding one more step, but I've shown you what you need to know to be able to do these. So number 15 says, find the area of a circle with a circumference of 26 pi feet. Whatever they give you a number with is the formula you start with. So I'm going to start with that formula, and we're going to find the missing letter. So 26 pi goes here. Remember, when they give you that pi, it's making it easier for you because they are going to cancel each other out. And I have the diameter is 26. The question says find the area. So now we're going to use both formulas in the problem. Okay, pi r squared, what's the radius? Radius is 13. Half the diameter is the radius. So this is going to be pi times 13 squared. Guys, 13 squared is not 26. Do not put a 26 right here. All right, that's going in our calculator. $500, and this time it's not rounding up, so it's not rounding to a whole number, so we're going to put 530.93. 530.93. And it is feet squared because it is area. This would be feet. This is feet squared. All right, let's do the next one. So this one does not have the pi with it, which is good. Give us another example of that. They give us the area. Whatever they give you is the formula you start with. Area equals pi r squared. 113.1 goes there. So this time we're going to divide both sides by pi and then square root it. So divide by pi. Bring down the r squared because these cancel each other out. 113.1 divided by pi. Here we go. They want you to put the whole number, 36. And then what is the square root of 36? 6. The question says, find the circumference. Guys, in your homework, highlight this and circle that. Okay, circumference equals pi times diameter. What's my diameter? If the radius is 6, the diameter is 12. And so that's what you're putting in your calculator. Pi times 12. And we get 37.70. 37.70. You don't have to put the 0. And this is going to be inches. Circumference is not squared. Area is squared. Circumference is not. Okay. All right. I want you to do number 19. And I'm going to ask you a question about it. Okay, check and see if you got it right, and I'll go over the problem. I didn't mean to write that down. It's okay. All right, so we are starting with the circumference formula. I'm putting 18.84 in place of the C. Circumference equals pi times diameter. Divide by pi. My diameter is 6. It doesn't hurt to go ahead and put that radius is 3. Okay, get that in your brain. The radius is half the diameter. It says find the area. So that's the work over here. Pi r squared, pi 3 squared, and then I put that in my calculator and I get 28.27 yards squared. Okay. Last problem. Go ahead and do number 20 and I'll ask you a question about it. Okay, let's see if you got it right. So the question said, find the circumference of a circle with an area of 1,809.56 square centimeters. Start with the area formula, put that number in place of A, divide by pi. It does come out to a whole number. Okay, it rounds 576.000. Okay, and so then you take the square root of that because the person who made this worksheet is making it very easy for you, and you get 24. So if the radius is 24, double that, the diameter is 48. The question says find the circumference, so I write down the circumference formula, put in the 48, and there's my final answer. Okay, do me a favor, put an X right here, put an X right there, so I know that we have the entire worksheet done. Oh, and just to see that you watched the video to the end, can you put a smiley face here and a heart here? Ha! We'll see who doesn't have that. Okay. You're done with the video notes. The worksheet will be done the next day in class that I see you. Can you please mark these video notes as done? I don't have it written here, but go ahead and mark. Yours will have it written there. This is an old copy. Go ahead and mark your video notes as done, and we'll do the next worksheet the next time I see you. Thanks.